When someone talks about rebuilding a car, you might think, oh wow, that's neat. But you really don't understand what went on. You'll never know the late nights, the dark days, and the endless people saying, why are you spending so much time and effort on that? No one will understand the emotional connection you now have to a vehicle. Something most people would call silly, caring about a car. But what most don't understand is that it's not the car itself, it's the journey. Every single time you get behind the wheel of something you created, it's a flashback of everything it took to get it there. This car is supposed to drive 7 hours by June 8th, around 800 kilometers round trip, from my house to Niagara Falls, just for a car show. The biggest car show in this area for Volkswagens. And a lot of Beetles go to this show, so I wanted to make sure this car could attend. At this point, I only have 40 days to put this entire car together and get it on the road. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop. My name is Mike Deschamps and it is Saturday, April 20th, and behind me is a 1974 Volkswagen Super Beetle. Now, I've made roughly 25 videos, I believe, so far on this restoration. So if you know, you know, and today we've got a bunch of work to do. Dad's on his way over, and I just picked up some more shop lights because I had a light bulb blow over the week and haven't replaced it yet, so I just picked up a couple lights. That's the first thing I'm gonna do this morning. Hopefully he's gonna show up and then we can get straight to work. We gotta separate the body from the pan and then start getting this pan ready for paint and get all the suspension torn off it so that we can get all that ready for powder or paint. Not sure what we're gonna have time for at this point, but we have roughly a month to get this car on the road, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we gotta strip the whole pan today, get it all ready for paint, powder. Tomorrow, I'm gonna finish welding the pan, get everything tidied up so that next week I can send it out for paint. Okay, so we finally got the lights dealt with. If you can tell, there's 3 of them on the roof, finally, after going to like 3 different stores this morning. So now we've got the car in position, and we're going to unbolt it and separate the pan from the body. Finally start getting that pan ready for paint. So, yeah. So the last time I touched this car was last weekend. Supposed to do a little bit more over the week, but it got busy. It got busy. So Dad's got this big thing that says I won't be ready, and I'm gonna have to trailer the car there. But I'm sure as shit gonna try. So I've given myself, I guess, a month, and we're gonna, I don't know what we bet. We can just bet like a case of Busch Latte.
Guarantee ya.
Because we're even now, right? So
no way
a case.
Are you driving it?
If I drive it to German Air, it's got to drive there and drive home, I guess, which is a big struggle for a case of Busch Latte. But I'm gonna try it just because of the YouTube thing. So all right, so every bolt is still in the body because I haven't touched it, and we've got to take every bolt out now and then lift it back up. The one hinge only has 2. If you're following the build, we had some issues with the passenger door, but we'd noticed the previous owner had put some washers in the door jamb to use as shims. Those shims were now causing us issues when aligning the door properly. It must be a shim. Still looks like a skin to me.
Yep, does to me too. Especially when there's a screw in it. And a screw in it.
Yeah, that's kind of a giveaway. Okay, well, passenger side door is off because as we were unbolting it, we remembered we forgot to weld in the center bracket that goes from the tunnel to the firewall, which we had taken off. There's no lights in there right now, but this goes from the tunnel to the firewall. And we had to do a little bit of welding on the floor pan on that side to make sure it stayed in the same position we wanted, because we left it loose when we bolted it up. But yeah, so just doing those couple little things and then back to separating. With all the bolts out of the body, we can now separate the pan again and start prepping the pan for paint. It's time to at least make some of this car look good. With the pan finally set up to sit on the body and no more test fitting to do, it's time for a full teardown. That means suspension, transmission, all cables, bushings, bearings. As bare as the pan looks, there's still a lot to disassemble.
Think so?
Gonna be hot.
Alright, so we did have to make up these little tools for the rear control arms. All we did was get a 17 mil bolt and weld it into this bar, and it actually allowed us to get that. It allowed us to get the trailing arm bolt out, and all we had to do was jam a 17 mil bolt in there and weld it onto this bar just on a certain angle. But of course we couldn't use the same bar for the driver's side, so we had to make two separate bars. Either way, it worked good. Just a tap of the sledgehammer kind of on both of them and they freed up nice, which Dad doubted would happen, but positivity, you know. And so those are broke free. I'm just loosening the axles right now to get them out, and Dad is up front. He's checking out the frame head up here because it's got a bit of a spot that was repaired but not repaired very nicely, and you can see it's kind of latched into this area a little bit on this side too. So finally have the body off the pan and we're starting to strip the suspension now. So it's sun's going down. Wasn't a very great start to the day, but yeah, we have lights, so that's good. Okay, so the passenger side came out pretty good, but this is the driver's side, and as you can see, all the bolts on the driver's side are filled with stuff. So every single bolt has to be cleaned out before the Torx bit will fit in there. So yep. Most cars get covered in rust proofing sometime in their lifetime. When it comes to a show car, you really don't want any gooey, messy coatings on the car. You want it as clean as possible. So everything's got to be cleaned off nicely. So that's one side off. Driver's side. How is it? A little clunky, eh? It's not horrible. Smells good. How's it taste? Don't do it. It's it smells kind of burnt, hey?
This side does.
Yeah, I'm getting a burnt smell. Anyways, I'll keep on doing this one. Okay, with both CBs out now, finally, we're going to just quickly pull the
the tranny off and get it off the pan here.
I don't know if you'll get them like that or not.
What you doing?
Whoa. You wanted it out?
Nice. Okay.
Hang on, where do you want to put it? Over here?
Over at the end, I guess. For now. And I'll figure it out. So with the transmission and axles removed, it's time to dig into the rear suspension and rip it apart. Remove the wheels, brakes, all suspension, lines, bushings, and bearings.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play?
Okay, so Dad just left, and we actually got quite a bit done today. Not really what we wanted to get done, but we got the lights up in the ceiling, which is huge because this place was super dark. So now it's a lot brighter, which is key. You need to see, and you guys need to see, because I'm sick of all these lights everywhere. So now we got some better lights, so we can hopefully utilize the camera more. But today really wasn't the day for the camera, I guess. We got the body off the pan, which is simple because we've done that a million times now. But we also separated a bunch of the rear end. We took the transmission out. Dad got one whole side, the rear torsion arm. Yeah, the rear torsion arm on the right side, so it'll be the passenger side. He took it off, showed me how to disassemble basically everything on the suspension for the rear. The front is all just bolt together separation, but the rear is a little bit complex and you kind of got to know what you're doing. So I wanted to learn how to do one side. I'm going to do the other side myself, and I'm also going to separate everything in the front. It's 10:30 at night, and my hand slipped off the wrench, and then the wrench came through and took a chunk out of my hand. So that feels great, but I'm getting some feeling back. So 10:30, 10:40 I think, and I'm gonna take a break, I guess. Get a little bit cleaned up because I feel filthy, and then keep going. Because yeah, I got no time to get this done, so let's just keep going. I gotta get this pan completely stripped and then hopefully welded tomorrow and ready for paint tomorrow. So as it stands, the front suspension's still on, half the rear suspension's still on, and yeah, I got a lot to do. So I'm gonna take a break, maybe have some food, clean myself up a little bit, and then be back out, I don't know, by 11. Let's do by 11. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back out in the shop, and it's 11:10, 11:15, something like that, so I didn't quite make it, but whatever. Let's get to it. We're on the floor now. It's time for a glove, I guess. I can explain it to you, because I'm going to show you on the way back through anyways, so basically what's got to happen here, got to pull this cotter pin down straight. This feels, oh, it feels so good. Cotter pin out. Okay, the outer nut is a 36 mil. Hopefully my compressor works because it's been giving me trouble today. Beautiful. Beautiful. 36 mil is off. E-brake is off. Release. Come on. Oh, yeah. It's a little dusty in there. Looks pretty good though. We got new pads, I'm pretty sure, which is awesome. First thing we need to do disconnect the e-brake. That's an awkward spot. It's too tight to the body here. Yeah, release that. Then there's a 13 on the back. Cool. We didn't do it that way earlier. So you just push down really hard on the e-brake and pull it on the lever. I know I'm not showing you guys exactly what I'm doing, but it's the best I can do at 11 o'clock at night. So with that disconnected, I need a 13. And I'm probably gonna have to dig this out a little bit. Okay, so here you can see the e-brake cable and the lever that engages the shoes for the e-brake. All you have to do, it's C-shaped. So you push down on this really hard type thing and pull this lever back. And yeah, it should pop off. Then there's a 13. Then there's a 13 right on the back side. And yep, then you can release the e-brake cable, and then there's these 4 bolts which hold on the backing plate and the front seal of the bearing. So that's coming up now. Tilt up. Look, I want you to. What is that tab there? Who made this? I forgot to press record. Not cool. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys before this all breaks apart. I just took apart the outer seal with the gun, and that's 4 main bolts here. Then this piece comes off, which is a seal right here, and then the bearings inside. That also holds on your backing plate. Now I got new brake lines, so I'm just gonna cut this and pull the whole backing plate off. Same thing we did on the other side. Yeah, there's the outer race. So I'm gonna take the bearing all apart too, but there's the outer race. So I don't... Fun. Whoa! I better cut that off and get it out of the way. So there's all the brakes, everything together. You can see that's where that bearing plate sits, the bearing seal. 4 bolts. Pop that off. There's your seal, and your bearing sits right there. Pretty wicked little design. Who made this? And this just gets sandwiched in between the inner and the outer bearing. It'll slide right out now, but I'll leave it in for a second, I guess. Actually, I'll take it right out. And we'll put the 36 back on it. So, even though I'm covered in grease, still put an L on this, so I know that it's Larry. Left, Larry. Okay. Top of the shock's already out. Bottom is a 17.
Why don't you come outside and see what it's like? I think you'll find that the weather is nice. You go get a drink.
This is where my hand got bit on the other side. So, it's still pretty numb, which is great. But if these slip on me at all, I'm gonna just weld them. That should be 19. Yeah, buddy. Okay, there's one that actually came out. So far with this car, these torsion arm bolts that go to the trailing arm have been the most difficult to get out. Right behind that though is the pan bolts. We had to cut a lot of them. time to use my wicked awesome tool, because Dad took the actual tool home. Would help if I'd go the right way.
Climb, but you're wasting your time. You're a little behind.
Ah, that's why. With the driver's side trailing arm now removed, all that's left to remove is the torsion arm. A quick 4 bolts on the cover and I can slowly pry it off the pan. With this car being in a million pieces, it's very important to keep track of every bolt I take out. Majority of the time I just put the bolts back in the location that I took them out from. But if I can't, I use a Ziploc bag and I write on the bag where the bolts came from. Okay, well. It doesn't quite want to move tonight and I don't want to piss everybody off, so I know I said this wouldn't come out, but you guys know me by now, and I couldn't stop at just, you know, leaving well enough alone. So I got it to come out, but I wanted to show you guys, if you've never pulled one out, what exactly is in there, right? Because I never knew. So check it out. I'll put you on the stool. Stool cam. First look. So it's a splined end that meets in the middle and then adds torsion. You lock it in place and adds torsion, so when the suspension kicks down, basically you can choose your ride height based on that. I don't know how well you can see that, but you can go up a little bit or down a little bit. It's a pretty cool feature, honestly. But yeah, it's out. All right, it is, I guess, throwing stuff around. It's 12:14. So 12:14, and I just finished stripping the rear end.
I've done both sides. I haven't taken the bearing out of the torsion arm on the driver's side yet, but I'll just smash that out shortly. This is all that's left currently. Clutch cable, fuel, throttle cable, fuel line, e-brake. So yeah, not sure what I'm gonna do with some of them, because I really don't want to pull them all the way through, but figure that out in the morning. Either way, rear end roughly stripped. I'm just gonna have a little break and then I'm gonna move on to the front. Obviously I'm tired, but feels good to get it done. So front end, I'm not gonna disassemble the entire front end, I'm just gonna get it off the pan, which is a lot easier. There's only, you know, let's say 4 nuts and bolts type thing, and I can get it off the front end. But how well will they come off? That's the question. Okay, on the front here, I just took off these 2 tie rod end bolts, so I can probably break that free, and that bar will separate the 2 sides at least. Then I've got to take out this guy and this guy. And then I'm probably gonna take out the steering stabilizer as well. Get that out of the way. But these guys here, I don't know if you can see it, it's a slottable hole or slotted hole. So I'm gonna mark it. I'll clean it up nice and mark it so I know that they're sitting on the insides of that slot. But at least I told you guys as well, so I will document that. So immediately as I took that bolt out, it pushed its way out. So I'm going to have to figure out a way as I'm tightening that to bring it all the way in.
I'm not reusing the old tie rod ends. I have ordered new ones. So with it being late and I'm tired, I just kind of went for it and smashed them out the brutal way.
I get the money and it's right on cue. Keep the duffel bag up inside my coupe. Hold a couple racks, tell 'em I love you. You wanna be a boss, do it like I do. Yeah.
Too tired for this. Not gonna move the tripod, just gonna tilt it down so you're looking down on me. No, fuck it. That's stupid. Alright. I don't know. This isn't right, but whatever. 1 in the morning, just finished taking apart the front end and the rear end. Awesome. Yeah, time to get some rest and get back at it tomorrow. I don't know what I want to say yet. Alright, it's Sunday night. I used the day to get some stuff done around the house like every other adult. But I'm gonna use my night to get some stuff done in the car. So last night we got the pan roughly stripped. I'm gonna kind of finish stripping it tonight. I'm gonna finish stripping it tonight. And not sure what I'm gonna replace for the lines in it, because inside the tunnel there's actually the fuel line, the clutch cable, the throttle cable, and the emergency brake lines. So I don't know, everything looks pretty good, other than obviously I'll change it, the fuel line, because over time they just, you know, get stuff in them and whatever. So at this point, new fuel line, so I'll rip that fuel line out, but the shifter, everything like that can probably stay inside, because I'm not doing like a full blown sandblasting of the pan. I'm gonna try and sandblast the front and the back, and then clean up the center and paint it all as one, because I've put brand new pans in it. Yeah, so just gonna clean everything up the best I can. But from right now, just going to try to continue where I left off last night and just strip the pan and start welding the top side. Hopefully I can get the top side welded, and if that's the case, I'd like to flip it. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna flip it yet, but we'll figure it out. I would like to flip it, and then I can weld the bottom. Then in the morning, I'm going to grind the entire bottom, flip it, grind the top, and seam seal it. Then it's gonna go to blasting and get painted. So yeah, just gotta start working on the pan, continue stripping it. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do, so I figured why not utilize the nighttime if I can. I'm not going to do any grinding because the garage is connected to the house, so don't want to do that right now. Not going to do any grinding right now because my garage is connected to my house, and I mean, it's already, I believe, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, something like that. Welding you can do whenever you want because it's kind of quiet. It's not quiet, but it is quiet. So yeah, I can at least weld the top side and then maybe flip it, weld, grind, you know, keep going. Okay, get to it. Okay, so this is where it got left last night. I still have to remove this brake line up here. There's the fuel line right there. A bunch of welding to do around both pans, and then grinding to clean them all up and make it look beautiful. And got to pull these out. They're already free. This has got to come off. I'm gonna break all this sealant here, clean it all up, reseal it all nice. I've taken the sealant off taking the sealant off this area, I have to remove all this sealant here, expose it all, clean it up, reseal it before paint. There's that fuel line, so it goes all the way through the tunnel and comes out at the front where the tank is. None of this is really fun to remove, but the e-brakes look like they're in great shape. They're just covered in stuff. The throttle cable is fine technically. It could use a new grommet, but the throttle cable's fine. And Dad wanted to change out the clutch cable because he didn't like it or something was wrong with it. So I might leave all that alone for now, and I'll continue stripping the sealant, getting this all cleaned up, pull the spring plates, pull them out, and pull the seals in there out. Then it's just going to be welding, 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 and then fix up front tomorrow. So
I wanted to mention too, at this point there's a lot of nuts and bolts and stuff like that, so I'm gonna, continue putting everything into Ziploc bags and naming everything, because this is all gonna go back together, in a week or two. So I have to keep it organized because I kind of remember, but it's easy to get all over the place, especially in such a small garage. So before I start anything right now, I'm going to Ziploc all the nuts and bolts, write everything on them, get that all squared away, then move on. I'm going to scrape this area free of all this old dry rot sealant because it's basically flaking away in the corners and gonna cause trouble, so I might as well just peel that away, new sealant on it. Okay, I think I'm done poking at the frame right now. I did use the wire brush on the rear end. It's actually working pretty good, so it's making me kind of not want to get it sandblasted and just wire brush the whole thing, because that only took me 20 minutes to do 3/4 of the rear end. So, and it cleaned up really nice. But anyways, I'll figure that out after.
Look, making sure everything's labeled, at least for now, Randy and Larry. And I'm gonna come over here now and organize all this stuff, which it was kind of organized as I took it off. So this is all how the car's positioned. So that's the passenger side and that's the driver's side. Same with the wheels. Driver's side, passenger side. So I did kind of do it last night, but I want to go through it and make sure. And then I got to separate that control arm, take the bushing out of it, and get it ready to go. And then the front, I've also got to separate all this stuff, take the nylon bushings out, break the caliper off, get the rotor off there, all that fun stuff. So yep, but right now pan is fairly stripped. Pretty happy with that. I've got all the nuts and bolts off type thing.
I'm gonna move on to the pan. I'll get the welder out and finish welding the passenger side in first. Then I'm gonna move over to the driver's side, jumping around a bunch and try to get this thing welded in solid.
I believe, needs to be grinded. Upper side, top side, passenger side, done, I believe. So, I'm gonna move on to the passenger side, or to the driver's side now, if this would quit moving on me. And do the same thing. Very dirty on this side. Building up. Both sides of the pan are welded in. All around the upper here. Nice. And then I've just done a bajillion tacks the entire way down. Same with up here. The upper all the way down. Okay, so the upper all the way down, then a bajillion tacks along the entire thing. Little Hershey's Kisses. I don't know why my welder keeps doing that, but if anyone knows, let me know. I'm assuming either dirty tip, dirty metal, I don't know. But I'm new to the whole welding thing, so this plate is also loose, so I'm just gonna, I threw a tack on it here, but I'm gonna tack it a couple more times and then tack it on the backside. Yeah, I'm gonna make a little piece for right here because I don't want to fill that. And then yeah, it's not very pretty, guys, but I'm learning, and it's definitely welded. I got a helmet head. Basically, I just figured I would tack it as many times as I could type thing, because Dad kept getting me worried about it not being enough, but I don't see why it wouldn't be. So yeah, I'm just gonna do one more little round here, lay some thicker ones, you know, 4 or 5 thicker spots, and then finish my little cap at the front here, and maybe flip it tonight. I don't know how I'm gonna flip it yet though. I think it's already midnight on Sunday, so last night I went all night, and then tonight I'm gonna go for a little bit still. But I wish that had welded a little nicer between the welder and the metal. It's always the instrument's problem, not mine. I'm just kidding. I'm new to this, obviously, so I'm learning. Going okay though. Wish it had gone nicer, but nothing a grinder can't fix, so I'll chop the top off those little Hershey Kisses, give them a touch with the grinder, and then I can throw sealant across the whole thing and make it pretty with a brush. So I'm not that worried about it. As long as it holds, that's the main thing. And I mean, it doesn't look horrible, it just doesn't look as good as it should. Simple as that.